What's going on, fight fans? Claressa Shields becomes undisputed at junior middleweight. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Claressa Shields does it in a 10-round shutout over Marie-Eve Dicaire. She is now the undisputed junior middleweight champion, which makes her a two-time undisputed champion. She did it at middleweight and at junior middleweight. Let's get right into it. Let's talk about pros and cons. Let me start with Marie-Eve. The pros would be she was game. She made it to the end of the fight. She did a decent job throwing her jab, and she was using her upper body movement. But the cons for her would be no power, which, hey, we knew that going in. 17-0, 0 KOs. And I don't think that she had enough. I don't think that she had enough aggression. I think that she really was in there to just kind of survive the fight, if you will, and too much holding for Claressa Shields. The pros would be her patience. She was very patient in this fight. She was not rushing. She seemed very calm. She didn't seem nervous at all, even fighting in front of her hometown. The way she was cutting the ring off, I thought was a good thing, but that leads me to the cons, which is no power. Claressa also, just like Marie-Eve, did not have any power. I thought that Claressa could have knocked her out if she maybe would have went to the body, wore her down in the body a little bit more, took it low and then brought it up high, and maybe got a chance to knock her out. But I think that this is what we're going to get with Claressa Shields pretty much her whole career. I think that what we're going to get is an excellent boxer, but a boxer with no power. Claressa has not really, I mean, what is she, 11-0 now with 2 KOs? Usually you want to see someone at 11-0 have 8 or 9 KOs at this point. This is the thing about women's boxing. Let me just jump into this, is that the days of Christy Martin and Ann Wolfe, there aren't fighters like that anymore. When I think of women fighters who have power, I think of those two names. Women who have concussive power. And unfortunately, there hasn't been a fighter like that in a long time. Now, if I'm wrong, correct me if there's somebody out there that I'm missing. But other than Ann Wolfe and Christy Martin, I haven't seen a woman fight in 25 years that had that concussive power that made you go, ooh, or made you jump out of your seat and get you super excited. We've seen a lot of excellent boxers, Lucia Riker, Cecilia Bregos, Holly Holmes, and now Claressa Shields, and even Katie Taylor, but women with no power. Women with decent power, but not that super power. Now, let me get back to this fight. Claressa, I thought, was excellent in this fight. As I mentioned in my pros and cons, I thought that she had good upper body movement. I thought she had good foot movement. I liked the way she kept her left foot placed outside. I thought that she used her punches in a lot of different varieties. The only thing I didn't like is that I thought that she could have went to the body more to slow Marie-Eve down, because it's apparent that she had a lot of nervous energy because she was very herky-jerky. Now, I could be wrong. She could have been herky-jerky because she was trying to kind of throw Claressa off of her game a little bit and keep her feet moving. But it seemed to me that it was a lot of nervous energy in this fight. But Claressa did her thing. She won 10-0. I'm pretty sure we all picked Claressa to win. I picked her to win, and I also picked her to win by decision because I did not think she would knock her out. So let's talk about what happens from here. You heard what Claressa said at the end of the fight. 147 if they come with the right amount of money, $1 million or more to fight Katie Taylor. I don't know how I feel about that fight, because we're talking about Katie Taylor coming up 2 weight divisions, and we're talking about Claressa coming down another division. I could be wrong, and it could be a really good fight. But what I think will end up happening is that Claressa will be very drained. She already doesn't have any power at junior middleweight or middleweight. Now we're talking about her fighting welterweight, where I think her power would be completely zapped. And then we're talking Katie Taylor coming up 2 weight divisions, where I think she would be too heavy. And I think that she wouldn't have the foot movement to make it, to utilize her skills, and even her being heavier on her feet still wouldn't make her sitting duck for Claressa, because I don't think Claressa will have power at that weight. But see, this is the issue that we have with women's boxing. There are great women fighters out there, but the issue is that we have to ask these women to do a lot to make super fights. I mentioned Christy Martin earlier. Remember when Christy Martin fought Layla Ali, a fight that never should have happened? Christy Martin's best day was as a lightweight. That was her best days. And she went up to middleweight to fight Layla Ali. And Layla Ali actually came down from super middleweight. So it was a mismatch, but they called it a super fight because, unfortunately, in women's boxing, the top of every division is the top. But everybody that is 3 and 4 spots under them, they're way under them. They're not even close. It's not even a competition. So I don't know how I feel about that fight. But the Savannah Marshall fight would be very interesting, because now we're talking about somebody that's a few years older than Claressa. We're talking about somebody that's the same size as her, and it will help her avenge a loss from her amateur years. Now, if I had to pick between the two, at least right now, honestly, I want to see her fight the Savannah Marshall fight. I don't care where it takes place. Let's see her avenge her loss from the amateurs and fight somebody that's more in her weight class, instead of her having to drop down to 47 to fight Katie Taylor or either the McCaskill Breakhouse winner of the fight next week. Other than that, I thought Claressa did her thing. I'm proud of my Michigan girl. She put on an excellent performance, and she is now undisputed in 2 weight divisions. What did you think about it? Did you enjoy the fight? Did you watch the whole card? Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about it. Actually, also too, tell me what you think about the pay-per-views. I'm going to set the over under at 50,000. Are you gonna go with the over, or are you going with the under, or are you going like me and you gonna cap it off at about 50,000? What do you want to see Claressa do? Do you want to see her come down in weight and fight Katie Taylor at welterweight, or do you want to see her fight Savannah Marshall or someone else? Other than that, if you haven't already, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell. Why? Because every time you do, we get to talk boxing. Other than that, that's all I got, fight fans. Holla at y'all later.